Hey guys, TimidTabby here. As I wait for Wrath to get ready to get on so we can continue with Act 5, I'm gonna play a couple of cinematics to kind of get us up to speed. Not only just because, A, we did defeat the main game, so Act 1 through 4 is all done, huzzah, now we're playing the DLC, but also because I thought it was kind of strange that there wasn't a cinematic to play after we had defeated Diablo. It just suddenly went into a cinematic that just went into the DLC. I don't know if that's because the game just automatically does that when you have the DLC unlocked, because technically it's no longer the end of the story, you've got one more act to play, but this apparently gives more of a finality, in a sense, to the end of Diablo 3. So it's kind of strange that this was skipped, or I might have accidentally skipped it, or something had happened. Because I thought it was kind of weird that that's how it ends. That's it. No fanfare, no blah blah blah, no movie to tell us, yay, we won, huzzah. We're just going straight into Act 5 when that's technically DLC. So, yeah. So again, while I wait for Wrath, if you're watching, if you want to actually see what the ending looked like, that's pretty much it. A new dawn.
In the end, it was a mortal heart that saved two worlds from ruin and cast down the prime evil forever. A new day breaks for both angels and men. For mankind's greatest champion, the Nephilim, rose to confront the darkness that we, in our pride, would not face. My brethren, I will take my place among you once again. But this time, as a mortal. Since justice has been met this day, I will now stand as wisdom. On behalf of those who risked all to save us. Forevermore, we shall stand together, angels and men, in the light of this glorious new dawn.
Until Malithus, or whatever his name, decides to try to fuck that over. Speaking of...
Diablo was defeated. For a time it seemed we would know peace. But it was not to be. For Diablo's essence lingers in the Black Soul Stone. I cannot destroy the stone, nor allow its evil to remain within the heavens. And so it must be hidden, even from the angels. I pray that it will be enough. You have done well, Horadrim. Your service here is finished. And you should all... run. Malthael. Brother. Why? The Nephilim will stop you.
No one can stop death.
Well, that went well, did it? I guess the bigger question is, why? Okay, let me check on... There we are! Heyo! Ego?
I am not Wrath anymore. The transformation is now complete. I am now someone else.
Well, hello there, someone else. Welcome.
I am now one of the dark overlords of the universe.
Was that a Howard the Duck reference by any chance?
Yes. Yes, it was.
I knew it.
I like that. I actually like that movie. I don't know why everyone's giving that movie shit.
It is admittedly not as good as I remembered, but it's campy fun. And
I like the yeah.
And oddly, well, threw in a lot of adult references for a duck guy.
Well, yeah, he wasn't. Well, like the whole point of the whole point of Howard the Duck is that Howard the Duck is a multi-dimensional traveler, where the strangest thing that happened, the strangest thing that's going on, is not Howard the Duck.
It is true. It's more of what's going on around him.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Is like which some people seem to miss, like a lot of people seem to miss, like which is mildly annoying.
I don't think it helps that the first half of the movie is basically Howard trying to get into a human woman's pants. And the fact that it works. Also, duck boobs.
So, you're That's really you're talking to the wrong guy.
I know I'm not talking to the right guy because honestly, I mean, admittedly, this might have aided in my progression. But to the general audience who probably wasn't expecting this kind of weirdness.
Yeah, well.
Oh, and stream is on, so. Just,
Yeah.
you know.
So I'm in the game now.
You are okay. Basically, while I was waiting to get your invite, I ended up rewatching some of the cinematics. There was a cinematic the game did not play for us when we beat Diablo. It, for some reason, skipped that and went straight to the Act 5 cinematic. I found that kind of strange, but I guess maybe because we already had it installed, no point because we know the story continues, but kind of feel like we missed out on a mild finality to the main game for some reason.
I see. Well, I got a story to bring up. I was on Elder Scrolls Online the other day, and I actually was able to pull off playing a Kaji girl very well. That I had like another player who was also into RPing. He actually started hitting on me. Like it was very. I could tell he was hitting on me when he started calling him my kitten, and like there was an emptiness inside him, like a void in his pocket, and I was still polite though, and I still pulled off playing a Khajiit very well. I even had I even got the mannerisms and the speech down. Yeah, we dueled, we did a battleground, and then he finally asked me if I'm really a girl in real life, like in a very hopeful like he sounded really hopeful. And I told him, nah, I'm a guy. I had to crush his dreams. Isn't that the eternal question you see in these MMOs? Like, you're a chick in real life, right? and then the elf goes, yes. Yeah. So, but yeah, ESO's been going good. I've almost got this. I've almost got all the pieces I need in order to get some basic adventuring done. Once I get the set bonuses, I should be set to just keep on going with the story bits that I've missed. I have noticed that a lot of MMOs, ESO loses a lot of momentum. ESO seems to lose a lot of momentum every time you start farming. You're basically farming for gear, because it's like it has nothing to do with the story. Everything just comes to a halt and whatnot.
Yeah, that I can believe that.
Like Monster Hunter also kind of falls into that, but I feel like
do I have tons of shit?
Maybe I do feel like World of Warcraft was more endgame was more engaging than ESO's, whereas ESO you're basically standing in one spot waiting for a boss to pop up for the most part, and just you're competing with other people on the map to kill it, and that's how the majority of this farming goes. Personally, I prefer how Division does it, where basically the multiplayer only comes in when you're matchmaking. And so pretty much effectively, unless you're playing with friends, you're effectively by yourself on the map. You don't have to worry about players coming in and stealing your kills. Oh yes, and Division 2 is pretty much... Division 2 also does that as well. It's effectively a single-player game, with the multiplayer only becoming a thing in the end, or whenever you're doing co-op with friends or stuff. That's honestly the formula that I prefer. I just wish there was an option to play it offline. Like, so where I didn't need an online connection in order to pick it up, you know? That being said, though, Khajiit are awesome. They're probably my favorite race in the Elder Scrolls series. They're also, ironically, the nicest. They're probably some of the most decent. They're probably one of the more decent races you'll come across. Whereas, like the most they ever do is just drugs and organized crime. By comparison to what the rest of the races do, that's really that's pretty low on the criminal, on the bad person list.
Right.
And I mean, have I mentioned that the Bosmer are cannibals?
You had, yes.
Yeah. I just like the High Elves are too. How could the High Elves like put up with that? Oh no.
Oh hell no.
I'm honestly so confused, like how the High Elves could possibly have decided that, oh, we're like who would want to joint team up with the Bosmer? Hey, I'm sorry. I'm a little. I'm not. I can't let that go. It's because it's just. It's terrible. Like the High Elves with their racism is by far more tolerable. I mean, at least you know where they stand.
Right. Okay, sorry for the hold up. I was just selling a lot. Trying to.
Oh, I have to do that too. I was actually exchanging dialogue with some of these characters.
Okay, well then I will do this then.
Are you troubled?
Where's the artisan? Wait, where's it?
Oh, go up. Go northwest.
The gypsy?
I need to know how high
You said the artisan, right? Wait,
yeah,
which
like the
artisan?
gypsy lady that like transmogs gear and stuff.
Oh, well, I thought this was it, actually. Enchant? Transmog?
No, where's the NPC? Where's she?
I don't know. Huh.
Like she's gone.
Did she die in the battle?
No, I don't think so.
Hold on.
Like Shen, like James Hong and the Scottish guy is still here.
Yeah. The collector, the defense.
Okay, now I just need to go through my gear and see what's anything to keep.
Okay, so I'll go back over here.
Like none of this is any good. Is there no actual weapons merchant? Is there no items merchant in this town? Oh, no, here she is.
Yeah, they're down there. Let me see if I can take additional damage for a limited time. Kind of like this one here.
I have been Have you also been? Oh, wait 1 second. I've got to exit out. I said I got to exit out and come back in. I said that we were going to like boost the difficulty up.
Ah, right, you did. Okay, I'll exit out in just a moment too. And you, never mind. Already happened. Nope, never mind. Okay.
New legendary items become available at levels. Okay, so we're gonna...
Try that again.
Oh.
That was fine.
Okay, so I've set the torment. This is gonna suck. This is gonna really suck. So, okay, so it seems as if, like,
Great.
Okay. So apparently at level 70, like, new gear is actually going to become available.
Ooh.
But I don't understand, like, what level are we now? 60...
I am at level 66.
Yeah, so... But I've noticed that most of this gear has been stuck at 61. But no, never mind. Never mind.
No.
Shit, man. I don't know what we're gonna do once we get to
Foreverland.
once we get to the end of the game and stuff. And supposedly Torment is where the game gets like I've heard that this is the this is the point in the game where Torment becomes like super hard. That's what I've heard anyway. I don't know if it'll deliver on that promise. The numbers on this gear is really inconsistent. Like sometimes like the armor is sometimes higher, but like the perks aren't as good.
Right.
Have you noticed that?
Yep. It's like it's hard for me to want to take the higher armor when the perks kind of suck and just does nothing for me.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Like I'm probably gonna need I probably am gonna need the gold, so I should probably just sell this stuff. Though I have a feeling that eventually this forging and salvaging is gonna become the way to actually eventually get the best gear.
Did you know there were once two moons? Lyria is the one that is no more.
My stash is actually pretty good.
This time I told you the whole story of Zai and his master, the god of desire, Dirgist.
The whole story? That would be a welcome change.
Dirgist's jewel has appeared again, and the time for secrets is over.
Then tell me if you are a god.
Okay, so I've actually... Okay, alright. Aha, okay.
Have you been eating enough? I've noticed this about you. When things get difficult, you get very...
I wonder if she just disappears because, like...
Cook for you.
Well, I mean, if she doesn't appear in the story, I'm gonna take a wild guess at what's going on.
Do you hear something?
That was it?
Is there anything on your mind, Hedrick?
Do you think Cardium is under attack as well?
I do.
At least they have the Iron Wolves. Lord of Lies could not break them. The Angel of Death will not either.
Huh? I highly doubt that.
Life per hit, vitality, dexterity.
Okay, scoundrel.
The world's under attack and people are dying everywhere. It must be time for us to go on another adventure, right?
It is good to see you again, though it seems like we are only brought together in the worst of circumstances. I suppose if times were better, we would never have met.
All right, I am at intellect is at 35.8k, and I have no idea. I have no context for whether any of these stats are good or bad. Like, I would need to look up a meta site, which I might actually still play this. I might actually still continue to play this game because Blizzard's official statement is this is not the end of the game. Like,
Really?
they're apparently they did say they wanted to add more content.
What the hell is going
Like,
on out there?
Whoa, what the hell
So-
is that?
I have
Westmarch
no
originally
clue.
grew from the efforts of the great
Okay,
General
so
Rakis to
like they
spread
did, like
his
this.
religion
This
beyond
supposedly is not the
realms
end of the
East.
game.
Seized
Like they're,
by the superstitions
but they.
of the
I just
Zaghrud
don't know.
faith, he
Have no
drove his
context for when they're going to add
relentlessly
more.
across the barbaric western lands, subduing the uncivilized tribes he found there. Ultimately, he became king of them all.
Okay. Let me see. Do I?
My brother.
Malthea.
And my pockets are empty.
Leader of our council, first among angels, and now he has become
Okay.
this.
Gods
All right.
rarely change their nature.
Okay, let's
How
go.
could this be?
I'm just gonna hide summon my dogs.
Destruction of the
My
world
dogs,
stone,
my giant.
Malthael's mood darkened, and he left the heavens frequently.
All right.
Then he disappeared completely.
Well, I think I'm good, man. Let's go ahead and get this started.
Okay, I'm just listening to Tyrell's thing for a second.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish up the
Death
dialogue and
is a
stuff.
step in the cycle of reincarnation, not an end. What can you learn from studying the sliver?
The sliver is still connected to the soul stone. As the stone changes, the sliver will change too. Therefore, I can observe what Malthael is doing to the stone, and if we're lucky, even discover his plan.
Cool. Okay, now I'm starting.
Okay, go ahead.
What was the Death Maiden trying to do in the cathedral?
She was creating an orb that turns the living into Malthael's death creatures. A single orb can transform hundreds of innocent people every hour, and my men report 2 more of them out in the city.
Soul crucibles. With 2 of them, Malthael has an endless supply of soldiers.
Until I destroy them.
Okay.
Well,
so-
technically, that would imply that like they have an infinite number of dead people to resurrect. I mean, what's he
True.
gonna do? Resurrect them again and again and again? Oh yeah, actually, I suppose he could do that, couldn't he?